Hey guys, 𝗙Con here, back with another video. I'm wearing my lucky hat today, also because my dome is particularly shiny today, and I don't want to blind you. Sometimes my halo can be very blinding. Anyway, welcome back to another video. I jest, of course. My halo is not that bright, but it's getting brighter day by day. Yeah, I'm back with some viewer comments. You know, I always love doing these, and I think you guys love them too. I have 4 here that I'm going to touch on. And the first one is from 𝗙cie. Hi, 𝗙cie. I've dreamt that my specific person texted me, "I love you." So he texted you, "I love you." And I heard him say that, I heard him say it as I was falling asleep. That's a nice thing to hear. This is a manifestation, right? Sure. Any thought that you have is a manifestation. Any feeling that you have is a manifestation. A dream can be a manifestation as well. Really, anything in your experience is a manifestation. I haven't spoken to him for 1.5 years, so I'm feeling really good about where my vibration must be. Well, you should be, and your dream in this case, I think, is an indication of where your vibration is at. Dreams are really simple. I mean, and any of these signs, and I've spoken about this before, they're an indication of where you are vibrating, where you're putting your attention and your focus in the moment, right now. Just like when you go, even when you guys go to tarot readers and you read your horoscope and all that kind of stuff. In and of itself, this stuff has no meaning. It's about the meaning that you apply to it, right? And if you apply any kind of meaning to it as to good or bad, what that means is that that is an indication, that is an outward manifestation of your inner state in that moment, of your inner focus at that moment, all right? So all these things are manifestations, but they're just telling you, feeding back to you, just like your physical waking reality is a mirror that's always feeding back to your predominant inner state, your predominant energetic offering and focus, and even your fears and beliefs and expectations about things, okay? So too are dreams, all right? And things like that, and all these signs that you see. And you see the numbers repeating, you see that you have the dreams, the psychic told you this, that, or the other thing. It comes down to what is your reaction to that in that moment, okay? You can have a negative reaction to it, you can have a very positive reaction to it, or you can just be totally neutral about it and not give a damn at all what it's about, okay? And not care about it at all, not pay any attention to it. Most people don't, right? I mean, they have dreams, really, I don't think they pay that much attention to their dreams. They wake up and go, well, that was zany, you know, and then they go about their kind of TikTok day, as 𝗙Stuart likes to say, TikTok, the 9 to 5, right, every day kind of thing. And really what it comes down to is the meaning that you apply to things is the meaning that that's going to have for you, okay? So if you wake up, if you have a dream like that and it feels good to you, then I would say that's a good indication that you're on the right path towards what it is that you want with your overall sort of energy and focus and expectations about the thing, okay? So your focus and your energetic offering has been very good and has been very sort of, you know, pointing you in the direction of making the path easier towards what it is that you want. So I would say the dream is definitely a manifestation, and a manifestation, again, being basically a reflection of what it is you're putting out there, being reflected back to you. Then I'd say what the dream is sort of telling you. Sorry guys, I got a phone call there, so I had to do a little cut. But what the dream is sort of telling you in that sense is where you're at. It's telling you, yeah, you know, 𝗙cie, you're doing pretty good in the direction you've been going with things, all right? In the direction of your thoughts, the way you've been feeling about this, the energetic focus you've been putting on this stuff is leading you you're on the path towards what it is that you want, all right? So I would say the dream is really just, it is a manifestation of your inner state at this moment. And I would say the indication here, and the thing to say here really is very simple, is just keep going. Keep going with what you're doing. And as you say, you're feeling really good about where your vibration is. Well, that's precisely right. So you already know that the dream is an indication of where you're at right now with your overall vibration, right? Okay. So keep going. That's a good thing there. Next one, 𝗙cie. Hello. 𝗙cie. Oh, this is in response to the video I did about, I guess it's the last one, about doing a past journal, okay, having a past journal for future events. In other words, journal about your your desire as if it is already in the past, okay? So from the viewpoint of you in the future, having already manifested the desire, journal about how it happened and this and that. Use your imagination, you know. You can look at that. That's the last video I posted, so take a look at that one if you haven't seen it. So she says, I usually script scenes... I usually script one scene that's like Monday everyday life, but I can definitely see how the journal would be reaffirming the new reality. Yes, indeed. Gonna give it a spin. I've also been having a great time visualizing before bed and daydreaming when I'm at my happiest. This is another kind of thing, daydreaming. You know, the interesting thing about daydreaming, it almost is a bit like night dreaming in the sense that your mind kind of seems to wander, right? I mean, that's at least the way I look at daydreams, is when you're sort of like zoning out a little bit, you know, at work, hopefully. And hopefully your boss isn't seeing you doing it. But, you know, you're basically letting your mind kind of wander. And you know, daydreams can be very telling, just like night dreams can be very telling in terms of where you're at with your overall focus, right? Your overall energy and your predominant thoughts and beliefs about things, and especially about your desire. So the thing here is to pay attention to where your mind drifts to. Just like where your mind will drift somewhere at night and feed you back something that's going to make you feel a certain way, that's an indication to you whether you have a lot of resistance going on, whether you've let go of a lot of resistance, where your focus and your energy are at with your desire at that particular moment, can tell you like where to make adjustments or if to just keep going on the path you're on, right? So daydreams are kind of similar to that. If your mind kind of let your mind wander sometimes, this can even be used during meditation. You know, it's always this thing that you hear during meditation, like, oh, your mind will wander, just gently drift, you know, gently redirected to focusing on your breath or whatever. Yes, I think that's good, but I think it's sometimes important to see where your mind wanders too. It can be a good indication of your overall kind of state, overall focus, predominant focus that you have about things and about yourself, about your life in general, but also about your specific desires that you want to manifest. So daydreams can also be a good indication. How do they feel to you, right? How do the night dreams feel to you? How do the daydreams feel to you? That's telling you, hey, you're on the right path, or hey, you've got a lot of resistance bouncing around. You should be making some adjustments here and there, okay? So daydreaming when I'm at my happiest. My only question is there a point where I should stop daydreaming to let it go? I know I'm putting a lot of positive momentum towards it because it feels so great, but I know the next step is to release it. So what's the best way to distract myself from something you're having such a great time with? Well, that's my point. Why would you want to? Right? Here's the thing about all this stuff, okay? The letting go. You want to let go, really, and you want to practice letting go if you are being very adamant and needy and frustrated about your desire. If you really think you have to do all these techniques. I'm doing my 100 affirmations a day. I'm going to dream about this. I'm going to write everything down. I have to script now. I have to visualize now. I'm going to force it. You know, if you ever feel like it's difficult to do, all right, any of these techniques, if you ever feel like there's, I got to do this again, or I have to do it, or my manifestation won't happen, then you know you're kind of barking up the wrong tree. Because in a nutshell, what's going on is that your primary focus is on not having the thing. And you feel the need and the urge to take some kind of action, like repeating 1,000 affirmations every day, visualizing from 9 to 5, whatever it is. I must meditate now. You're doing any of these things in order to get what it is you want to stop doing them. Okay, and you want to distract yourself with anything else that's going to be fun and easy, okay? Because it's not, at that point, you're not really helping yourself out, and you're not really helping the manifestation. You're not really putting yourself in receiving mode, okay? So it's very important to understand and look at these dreams and daydreams, and as they pop up, how are they making you feel? And even as you're doing these techniques, how are they making you feel? If you're visualizing and you're sitting there and you're trying to force it, and you feel like you have to force it, and you're going, God, this is difficult, and then you become frustrated because it doesn't seem to be working for you, so you think I've messed up, and I'm not going to manifest anything now because I can't visualize properly, and my affirmations aren't working, I got to do them, I repeated them 100 times yesterday, why is nothing happening? Then you know you're barking up the wrong tree, okay? The techniques are not there to make something happen magically. The thing you want has already happened, okay? It already exists. You're trying to bring yourself there into energetic alignment with it, okay? So if you're feeling frustrated about any of this stuff, stop doing it. But if it makes you feel good, by all means, keep doing it, okay? Because that's the idea. All right. If you're doing these things like daydreaming and any of these techniques, even visualizing, okay, and you're doing them from a place of feeling really good about it, and you're kind of doing them for the sake of doing them because they feel good, then keep doing them. Okay. There's really nothing for you to let go of at that point. Okay. Really, what's happening is it's working. That's the indication. The indication is that you're daydreaming, you're visualizing, you're affirming if it feels really good and fun to you and you're looking forward to doing it, right? When you're not forcing yourself to do it and you don't feel you need to do it in order to make something happen, and you're just doing it for the sake of doing it and just for the sake of it feeling so good and because it's fun and playful, then by all means keep doing it. There's no reason for you to stop doing it. There's nothing you need to let go of at that point. Just keep doing it if it feels good, and if it ever doesn't feel good, stop doing it. It's really that simple, okay? So it's not that complicated. What's the best way to distract yourself from something you're having a great time with? Again, you don't want to distract yourself from something you're having fun with. You want to distract yourself from things that aren't so fun, okay? And the best way is to go do something else that's more fun. But in this case, you're having fun, so why stop it? Keep daydreaming, keep having fun with it, okay? So the next one is from 𝗙់𝗵𝗶𝗧. We've had you on. We've had you before, I think. Hello. No questions on this video. I put this on a Word document. I can't remember the video that you're referring to. Can you do a video, or maybe if I'm lucky, answer in a viewer question video? Looks like you got lucky. There's no luck, right? There's only manifesting. How to deal with nightmares. Maybe it's not common with everyone, not sure, but even while being positive and making progress, I have nightmares of my specific person with someone else. Well then, are you really being positive and making that much progress? And that's not to pee on what you're saying there, but really what I'm saying is, pay attention to these indications, okay? Again, if your dream is basically a nightmare, as you're calling it, in other words, it's making you feel awful or scared or worried, which is essentially what a nightmare is, right? The dream itself can't hurt you. And a dream itself is not necessarily an indication of any future event that's imminent or about to happen, but it is an indication, as I've said before, of where your primary focus is at, okay? So you may be walking around in your waking hours going, I'm very positive, making a lot of progress. You may believe that's what you're doing, or it may appear to you that's what you're doing, or you may even be fooling yourself into thinking that's what you're doing. But in your dream state, you're having these dreams that are bringing up a lot of fears for you. And so you see, it's again reflecting back to you. It is a manifestation of your predominant focus. So there's subconscious focus going on and belief system going on that you are still worried that he's going to be with somebody else. Okay, that you're not good enough, that you're not deserving of him, he's going to choose somebody else, why would he want to be with you? And so what's that an indication of? That's an indication of having very low self-esteem, not believing in yourself, not respecting or loving yourself enough, not seeing yourself as a catch, not seeing yourself as first best, as 𝗙់𝗵𝗶𝗧 likes to say, and I always love that term. She says, I'm first best, I'm not second best, right? So then what you do there is now you say, thank you for the nightmare, okay? Thank you for the dream. It's not a nightmare, it's a dream that was an indication, it was a manifestation of your primary focus and where your worries and fears are lying. That is underneath it all what you're kind of focusing on, okay? So then you make the adjustment, okay? What you do then is you pull it back. And in this case, I would say your dream here is a strong indication of your lack of self-worth and your lack of confidence and your lack of self-love and self-appreciation. Because if you're afraid somebody else is not going to choose you, and then that would mean that you're not good enough. You're not attractive enough, you're not appealing enough, okay? You're not good enough for them. And so then you use that as an excuse to feel badly about yourself. You don't need the other person to prove to you that you're worthy or lovable or attractive or appealing in any way. You have to know already that you are, okay? And so if the dream here is indicating to you that you don't already really accept that as a fact, that you are worthy and loving and attractive and appealing and good enough, that you are first best, okay? So that's what you got to work on, okay? Because your question continues and says, how do I deal with it when I wake up and I feel like shit all day because I had this nightmare? Well, let the nightmare guide you towards where the area that you need to be working on, okay? The things that you need to be letting go of. And the thing that for you to let go of here is this idea that you're not worthy enough, that you're not good enough, that you're not attractive enough, that someone else is going to choose another person over you because, you know, why would they want you anyway? You know, you need to start working at that point on your beliefs about yourself, okay? And do things and do self-love techniques, and you know, learn to appreciate yourself. Keep a journal of your positive aspects about yourself, right? Do the mirror work, and I've touched on this stuff before. You look in a mirror, you tell yourself great things about yourself. You tell yourself how awesome you are every day. It's going to feel goofy for a while, but especially if you're not used to doing it. But the more you do it, actually after a while, you're going to start looking forward to it. And I think it was actually Lara in that podcast episode, the last one, who said, you know, after a while I looked forward to it, and I was going by every mirror and loving myself all day whenever I passed a mirror or my reflection in something, right? So after a while, it will get easier. But the dream here, the nightmare, as you call it, is really, it's not as scary as you think it is, okay? Just see it as an opportunity, for you to see where you've been flowing your primary focus. And as you say, you're making progress and being more positive, and that's great, okay? And I'm not actually disputing that that's what you're doing. I think you probably are doing that if that's what you're sensing and feeling. But oftentimes what happens too, and this is an important thing to point out, oftentimes what happens is when we do start meditating, when we do start calming down, when we do start sort of moving in a more positive direction, and we have more positive expectancy about things in our lives, and especially about our desires, is that the terrible shit, the resistance that's still there lingering, will bubble to the surface, and it'll feel kind of awful, okay? That's why people always go, when they start meditating, you know, they'll meditate like regularly for a week or something, and then they'll go, wow, I actually feel worse than I did before. What's going on? And this is something that's kind of very well explained by Abraham Hicks, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm trying not to kill it, but basically what it is if your default mode before has always been to be negative, okay, you accepted that as being normal, as being your normal state of being, always feeling depressed, always feeling worried and scared, okay, always being down on yourself and dumping on yourself was your default mode of operating before. So you never gave it a second thought that it was somehow unusual or strange that you should be having those kinds of reactions to yourself and to your life, right? But then as you begin to calm your mind a little bit, and you begin to practice something like meditating, and you begin to sort of think in a more positive direction, sometimes you'll feel worse for a little while, because what's happening now is, whereas all the negative state of being felt normal to you before, now it no longer feels normal, you see? So the negative feelings, whereas before they didn't really stand out for you, now they're standing out like a sore thumb, right? And that's why they feel even more terrible than they did before, okay? Because you actually have shifted into a higher mode of operating, so that now really terrible thoughts that occur to you feel even worse than they did before, because you've made it so that that's no longer your default mode of being, okay? So that's another indication of that. Actually, in this case, and this is a little twist for you, in this case, your nightmare could also be an indication of your progress, as a matter of fact, okay? And there's a little, I know that's a kind of a little, what's the word? And I always struggle with this word. Well, anyway, paradox or something like that, yeah. So, you know, so it's a twist. It's a little plot twist, okay? So two things I would say about your nightmares there. First of all, yes, there is still an area that you need to work on, is bringing up for you your areas of resistance that you still need to kind of focus on. Because if you have been making the progress in a more positive direction, that will be another thing that will kind of come up for you to sort of clear out, because you're getting ready to move into alignment with your desire. And in order to do that efficiently from this point forward, like the next step for you would be to work on these areas where you still have a lot of resistance. And I would say the dream here is indicating to you that that is in the area of your self-worth and your self-love and appreciation, okay? And secondly, like I said, just to recap there, it is an indication also that you have been shifting into a more positive way of being, because now the negative shit kind of really stands out like a sore thumb, whereas before you wouldn't give it a second thought because it just felt normal to you because it was your normal mode of operating. But now it no longer is. So congratulations, the nightmare is actually a good sign for you, all right? Do you see how you can switch your narrative about things like that? Do you see how I did that there? Do you see that you can tell this story as you want it to be? And it doesn't matter what the circumstance is. You can give it any meaning that you want. And all you have to do is tell a different story about it. And guess what? It'll suddenly be a different experience altogether, okay? That's another video I'm gonna do about shifting your narrative and your story about things. So don't worry about your nightmare. Focus on yourself, okay? This is kind of where I see the area where you need to work on right now. I think that's very important for you to do at this point, all right? Next one and last one, Jennifer Peters. Is it okay to put out to the universe how you would like to be treated? Sure, but again, it's not that you telling the universe how you'd like to be treated, it's that you need to understand that you deserve to be treated the way you want to be treated, okay? And then as you believe it and you begin to treat yourself that way, then that will come reflected back to you. Other people will treat you in a similar fashion. You're the source of it all, okay? Everything else is just you pushed out. It's just a reflection of your inner state and your inner beliefs and expectations. I've been thinking about this lately, and it comes to from past experiences, repeating past experiences, including with my specific person. I've heard different things, and I know it's not about changing the other person. It's not about changing the other person. It's not about changing the circumstance either. It's not about changing the physical reality in any way. Again, it's about changing yourself on the inside, all right? It's all just an indication, a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So if you're saying, you know, I'm not being treated well enough, I don't feel I'm being treated well enough with enough respect and love and admiration and adoration and all that and appreciation, then really what's going on is that you're probably not really flowing a lot of that to yourself, okay? Just like with like 𝗙់ص. You know, there's an indication here that you want sort of the external world to catch up with some idea about yourself so that it can give you permission to feel the things that you want to be feeling. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't align with it first, all right, Jennifer, if you don't do the work to appreciate yourself first and love yourself first, then no matter how people treat you, they can all show up and shower you with love and shower you with gifts. You're not going to see it or hear it or feel it, really. You see what I'm saying? It's not going to have much of an impact on you because you haven't aligned with it first, you see? You could have 50 Brad Pitts, you know, declaring their love to you, singing under your window, you know, giving you marriage proposals. But if you don't believe you're worthy of it, if you don't really appreciate and love yourself and see yourself as being worthy, whether they're doing those things or not, then even when they do those things, you're going to feel uncomfortable about it. You're not going to really believe it. You see what I'm saying? So again, the idea that we want these other people to make us feel good about ourselves, to give us permission to feel good about ourselves, it's kind of it's an empty way to go. It's a dead end street. It's a cul-de-sac. Okay, you're not going to get any further with it. You have to be able to give that to yourself. All right. So the idea is, how do I get more appreciation? You flow more appreciation to yourself. How do I get more adoration? You flow more adoration towards yourself. How do I get more love? You flow more love towards yourself, you see? And then as you do that, boom, other people will start showing up in a different way, and you'll be able to recognize it not as a cause of your love to yourself, but as a result of it, okay? So that you understand that what I'm perceiving out here in the physical reality and how people are showing up in my life is a direct result of how I'm flowing outward, where I'm putting my focus and my energy, okay? So if you're saying, hey, universe, I want more love, really what you're saying is you're saying that to yourself. You're saying, hey, Jennifer, I want more love. Well, give yourself more love. I want more appreciation. Well, give yourself more appreciation. Don't expect the other people to do it or the universe needs to do it, because what you're saying is, I don't have enough of it to give to myself, or I don't really believe that I'm worthy of it. Therefore, hey, universe, I want other people to show up to give it to me so that I don't have to do it for myself. Okay? So that I can then believe it. But see, if they do show up without you believing it first, you're not going to believe it anyway. All right? Ask yourself this: how good are you at receiving compliments right now? If somebody gives you a compliment, okay? Like a genuine compliment. You know, if chances are, if you're not really believing in your own worth and you don't really see yourself as worthy or attractive or lovable or adorable, like I said before in the other comments, you know, somebody could pay you a compliment and you'd become embarrassed about it. You might even become angry at it because you just don't really believe it yourself. You see what I'm saying? So even if you go out there and say, hey, universe, send me a bunch of people who are going to say they love me all the time, those people are going to have to, that'll be a 24/7 job for them to tell you they love you forever and ever until they drop dead from exhaustion from telling you how much they love and adore you, because you're still not going to believe it. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to believe it until you're able to flow that love and appreciation to yourself first. All right? And then they show up and all the circumstances show up to reflect that, to show that back to you, you know, to feed that back to you. Okay? So I hope that that makes sense, guys. They're starting, I think they're like basically doing every yard in the neighborhood all at once, is what it sounds like today. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm _𝗏𝗏𝗏, of course. If you haven't subscribed and it's the first time you're on one of my videos, you like the cut of my jib, or you just like my cool hat, then please hit subscribe. You know where the button is. If you want some personal coaching, one-on-one coaching, well, one-on-one, it's email coaching. You get an audio response, but all the details are on the website and the link below in the description box there. If you want to join the Facebook group, please find the link for that also down below. And also, if you want to leave me a tip, there's a couple of tip jars down there. And thanks for all you guys who've been doing that. I appreciate it so much. And thank you for even thinking about doing it. And any amount is appreciated, even if it's 50 cents or $1. Okay, there's one for PayPal, there's one for Cash App if you prefer either one of those. So that's available down below in the description box. All right, guys. So until next time, thanks for watching again. I'm 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Happy manifesting. Bye-bye.